Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Shit's about to hit the fan. Welcome to Unsanctioned Thursdays on Wrestling with Freddie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to your fabulous Thursday bonus content. With me, as always, is my co-host, Mr. Jeff Dye, and your bonus content this week is the current and or what was going on in the last couple of years, what our favorite rivalries were. And this one, to me, is an easy two-horse race. But the first one is, for me, is Sami Zayn and the Bloodline. This, if for no other reason than just length of time, it has to be best rivalry of the year. Best rivalry of the year. And it's against an entire bloodline, not just one man. They told so many stories, from Sami to Jay, Sami to Jimmy, Sami to Roman, the introduction of Solo Sikoa and Paul Heyman filling in any exposition without ever making it feel like exposition. They made it was drawn out. You know how much I hate a 2-week story. I want things to matter. I want a reason why people are fighting. And the reasons they gave sweet, poor, innocent, loving Sami were so simple yet effective. And I'm telling you, Jeff, I feel like damn near every single person in this storyline got over in one way, shape, or form. This has to be on your list, right? I know we don't really review shows and talk about what we're going to talk about, but this has to be on your list, right? Or are you heartless?
It is on my list. I like it. I'm a big fan because every week you're just going, what is going on with the Sami Zayn thing? And then the Uso brothers.
Yeah, man.
I mean, it was really, really good and exciting and really smart and well done. Yeah, it's definitely top 3, but I would think for mine,
What?
I like Brock Lesnar versus Roman Reigns. I think that story.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, Brock's not around much to wrestle much, and Roman, but it just felt like two of the top dogs. And for whatever reason, when Brock would do well or be a monster or do the things, it felt believable. And when Roman would win, it felt believable. So it's just like this seemed like two actual, like you see Cody Rhodes and Brock, and you're like, I think that Brock guy would kill Cody Rhodes. Like he's so big. But for whatever reason, like Roman seems larger than life, Brock seems larger than life. And when you see them collide, it's always, at least you're getting two big names in there. Two big, giant-ass men with giant-ass careers.
It really legitimized Roman Reigns, the Brock Lesnar story. And because Roman was forced on the people. And they were not happy about it. And it wasn't until he kind of became this character with Paul Heyman that the crowd started getting behind it. And the boos were good boos. And then those boos turned into respect cheers. And then the respect cheers turned into screw it. We like who we like. And we like this guy. He's awesome. Right. As long as he's not going against someone we don't like, which is Sami Zayn. The story that they told while protecting, I mean, Brock Lesnar was protected more than anyone on earth with that final finish where they had to bury him underneath the ring, the chairs, the tables, the computers, the fans, the stadium itself, the city, the country of England. And that's the only way he could stay down. He's Godzilla. And it really made Roman Reigns and was the impetus for him to sort of become douchebag Roman Reigns, tribal chief. You know, I've owned Brock Lesnar. Now it's over and I'm the man. So I'm with that 100%, dude. I got no qualms with your modern ones, but I'm going to throw another one at you right now and see if you're ready for it. CM Punk and MJF. They had a 3 pay-per-view rivalry, one of the greatest in the middle of a match on mic moments ever. In an I Quit match, multiple times you're going to get the mic and you're going to ask the ref to, make somebody say I quit. And CM Punk's response was simple and concise and beautiful. And he said, "Eat shit, Max," on microphone. And it was so freaking awesome. But the story for these two guys coming up was masterfully told. And it was the story of a young teenage boy who loved professional wrestling and got a moment with one of his idols, which was CM Punk. And the kid was MJF, Maxwell Jacob Friedman. And Max had a tough time in high school. He's telling this story on mic and dealt with a lot of anti-Semitism and made the football team. And and made starting defense. And the next day at school, saw the defensive team coming up to him and thought he was finally going to be accepted. And instead of that, they threw quarters on the ground and said, pick up that money, Jew boy, pick it up. And he's telling this story to the crowd, and CM Punk just comes out and on camera mics only, but you can read his lips. He's saying, is that true? Is that true? And it's this like heartwarming moment for the most entitled, spoiled, douchey piece of shit in the game at the time, which was MJF, and you're genuinely feeling sorry for him. I rewound this and made my wife watch it, and my wife's Jewish. I thought it would resonate with her. And she was like, holy shit, is that true? I go, I think that might be a true story. Like, that's the only way you pull that off. And it went from that the following week, and they come out and they're wearing all white. And so right away, I was like, oh, it's going to get bloody. Because anytime you see a wrestler coming out in all white like that, it's going to be bloody. And sure as shit, man, CM Punk's talking to him, and Max is just killing it on the mic. He's saying, it was just a moment with another kid for you, but it was everything to me. And CM Punk's just like, Jesus, man, I was such an asshole to this fucking kid. I don't know what I'm going to do. And then Max just kicks him in the balls and busts his head open, and there's blood everywhere. And these guys are going to fight. This was when I started using the term Renaissance for wrestling, because it was a rebirth of wrestling. It was such an old school, classic type story. And these two guys were at their best, their absolute best, as far as ability to cut promos and do in-ring stuff. And I absolutely loved it. And I know you did too. You can't even act.
I'm a big MJF guy, so whoever he has a feud with, I'm fine. I like and I support, but like I said, Punk just for whatever reason. And I think it's like, this is the bad part about us knowing everything about wrestling, is that we start to form opinions about guys that are, you know, based on how you hear that they react with other wrestlers or who
like
they're
real life
friends
stuff.
with. Yeah. Which is kind of the fun
It's hard
part.
not to.
Yeah, it's fun that we have that, but it's also, there's a bad part to that too, where you're like, I'm not even judging his mic work and his stuff. I'm just going, I heard he's a butthole, and I heard he's like, you know, not great to work with. Him eating the muffins, pipe bombing himself, you know, or doing another pipe bomb back there. So it's weird. And then you get rumors every month that's like, will MJF ever wrestle again in AEW? And like, he's a locker room cancer, and there was an actual fist fight. And then, you know, all you got to do is wait 4 months and they're back. Like, and you go, well, what happened with that whole thing? I thought there was a whole thing. He's like, it makes you start to not want to take anything in wrestling as it is. You know, oh, this guy retired and then he's back a month later. Oh, this guy has been banned from this wrestling thing. He's not. He's back in half a year. So it's kind of hard.
If Vince McMahon's back, anybody can come back.
It's facts. So it's fascinating. It's weird. Yeah, Hogan came back. He was gone. Remember, he got canceled for a while. Everybody just gets wrestling is it's its own thing. So I love MJF. I love all the little feuds he's had. I don't know what I would say his biggest feud would be. Would you think it's as big as CM Punk's biggest?
It has to be this one.
Really?
This is MJF's biggest one. I don't know if it's CM Punk's biggest one. CM Punk's biggest feud, honestly, might have been with Vince McMahon.
That's a good rivalry too, right there.
And that was just words.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? But it was so like Vince just called him on his BS. Like, I made you a rich man, very rich man. Like, and it was just calling him on all his. It was crazy. That might have been his best rivalry.
Yeah. I mean, not as good as Austin and Stone and Vince, but you know, a different version of it.
Nothing's better than that, Jeff. Nothing. That was that's cheating. That's wish fulfillment. Every employee who's ever had a shithole boss wants to do what Stone Cold Steve Austin got to do to his boss, Vince McMahon. And when that's the premise of your story, everyone on earth's going to be behind you, dude. It's so good.
And the way Vince sold everything, the way Vince literally like leaned into being the meanest boss ever. Like, I mean, he's Roger Goodell meets, you know, every sitcom a-hole boss. Like, he's just the perfect version of the boss you want to see Stone Cold stick it to. Like, it's so perfect. We've done all these rivalries. You had a whole show where you got paid great to talk with these people at a big desk, all these fine people in wrestling. And rivalries. You got to do it best. But I think hands down the best rivalry, Vince McMahon versus Stone Cold, because he didn't really count on the list because he's not a wrestler. It's not a wrestler. But if we're talking about just rivalries, come on. Stone Cold Steve Austin just terrorizing his boss, Vince, for what felt like 20 years. It was amazing. He sprayed him with beer. He stone cold his ass. He filled his car with cement. Like, it didn't matter what he was doing. He just terrorized this guy, and we couldn't get enough. And Vince is such a jerk. Vince was such a jerk leaning into being a bad guy. The guy loved being booed. The guy loved coming out, opening the show with everyone like booing. Like, he was just like even his walk is evil. He's the perfect boss that you want to slap in the face or punch. I mean, we've said it a bunch on here. You've said it just now, but like, you don't like your boss. If you've ever had a bad boss, you want to do the things, but then you lose your job or you go to jail. But go home, wait around 7, 8, 9 p.m. on a Monday. You're going to see Stone Cold Steve Austin, the Rattlesnake, come beat the shit or terrorize his boss, Vince McMahon. And Vince would sell it so good. The way he's always surprised and the way he always was whatever. He
always oversold it so nice like that.
It was perfect.
Oh, you son of how dare you interrupt me, you son of a bitch.
He would even
crazy.
Do situations that would make you want someone to come out and kick his ass. You know, like making JR kiss his bare ass or like.
I was about to say, he started a Kiss My Ass club. There's your boss never did that to you. No. There's no worse boss than that.
He's the worst boss, and there's no better way than, to get back than to riding on a Zamboni and stone cold stun your boss. It's too cool. And that's why that has to be the greatest rivalry if you don't count wrestlers.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Jeff Dye, and that was the hot tag of the week. Yeah. That was a LA Night, at the end there.
That's
there you
good.
Go. Sir, thank you as always.
Thank you.
You're the man. Love you. And we love all you guys. Make sure you download these. Tell your friends. Tell your people. We like giving you guys this bonus content. This has been Wrestling with Freddie. This has been a production of iHeart's My Cultura Podcast Network. For more podcasts from iHeartRadio, visit the iHeartRadio app, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite shows.